Welcome back to Temporally Scripted. This is episode 40. 40 episodes we've been running this show. And today we've got some cracking news stories for you. Keir Starmer has made another U-turn, and the classic joke of him having more positions than the Kamasutra came out earlier on. So we'll be talking a little bit about that. We've also got some great news about speeding items that shouldn't go as fast as they can, the great British inventors that we have. And we'll be digging a little bit into creatine and whether or not it is a superfood or a super drug or a super substance. Anyway, we're back again, temporally scripted. We're rolling. Adam, he's here with me, as always.
As always, it's great to be here. How's it going?
It's been a good week. Yeah, this week I've been making yogurt.
Is that a euphemism?
No, it's genuine. I've genuinely been making yogurt. I've gone from yogurt weaver to yogurt maker.
What does a yogurt weaver do?
A yogurt weaver is like another term for a hippie.
Oh, right. I've never heard that before.
Ah, right. I remember back in the day in Nottingham, people used to go yogurt weavers walking around everywhere, stinking.
That's an amazing term. I can't believe I didn't know it.
Always asking for tick.
Oh, just till Friday.
Yeah, just a few more days. I've got my gyro coming in. Yeah, I've been making yogurt.
Wow.
I've even got a yogurt machine.
How does it work? What do you need for the machine to do?
So the yogurt, the process of making yogurt is you heat milk with a couple of spoons of like a starter yogurt, and you heat it at a very certain temperature. It's like 33 degrees or 35 degrees, something like that, for like 8 hours. And then it starts to separate the sort of curds and whey, I guess. And then you end up with yogurt. And then what you can do is strain it through muslin and turn it into Greek yogurt.
Oh, amazing. That sounds...
So I've taken my yogurt expenditure down from almost 250,000 Vietnam dong, which is, £8 to £2 for the same amount of yogurt.
Is that in a day or a month?
That's per usage. So probably every 2 days, I would say, because I do get a considerable amount of yogurt.
That's quite a saving. Why do you have so much yogurt? Is there some health benefit to it, or?
Yeah, it's partly the health benefit, and also that I like to mix my protein powder with it before I go to bed. I have like that protein powder that's good for when you sleep, the slow release one. So I tend to do 250 grams of yogurt with a scoop of protein powder before bed. And like I say, my Greek yogurt bill was going through the roof because there's a bit of a conspiracy there. Like Greek yogurt in Vietnam is, normal yogurt is cheap, and then Greek yogurt in Vietnam, I think there's like a ring going on with the Greeks, and they're using it as a way to...
And it's not exactly as if it's been flown in, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, that's it. And now I know that...
It'll be Greek style.
Yes, right. The difference between yogurt and Greek yogurt is you just put it over muslin for 45 minutes and let the whey
and that's
drain out. And that's it. There's no magic. So the Greeks have been having us over for years, man.
Yeah, it's been one big conspiracy. I'm going to put a stop to
it. Yeah, I've started printing T-shirts, placards, campaigns. I'm going to start going out there and just whistle blow on Greek yogurt.
I think it probably started with Pythagoras. I've never trusted that at all. And maybe he came up with the whole yogurt scam as well. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't put it past him. I've heard weird things about him. And who calls it a theorem when surely it's a theory?
Because it's a theorem, because it's like, it's proven, I think. I can't remember.
Proven by who? His mum?
Well, like reality of reality that we live in.
I'm suspicious about that. There's something definitely not right there.
Me too. I'm not sure myself.
I have always believed that maths is wrong. Anyway, moving on. So, news stories. We've had another U-turn in the UK government, and apparently now we won't be getting Brit cards
until a year's time when they decide to mandate it or something. Who knows? It's this thing's always gone backwards and forwards for years. I think it first started with Tony Blair, who wanted to bring in digital IDs for everybody. It'll be amazing, and people were like, I'm not sure about this. And so we got a lot of backlash against it then. And all these years later, I don't know if Starmer and Blair are friends. I would imagine I would imagine Blair has quite an influence still. And here we are again, bringing in digital IDs. But then I guess they tested public sort of sentiment and figured out that people weren't happy. And now we have another U-turn, as they've done with a lot of things recently, as I recall.
Yeah. I think people were unhappy is an understatement.
Yeah.
Like British people were angrier than they are when someone cuts the line. It was serious.
Right. I mean, angry, but not kind of like French level angry. You know, it's...
No. Yeah, not burning things in the street angry or...
burning your own stuff. All right.
Blowing roads up and stuff, wearing orange jackets and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, partly as well, they should name it something better. It's like they call it the Brit card. It's like, dropped your Brit card.
Yeah, it just doesn't have a good ring to it, does it?
No, they should make it something cool, and then maybe people would take it on. I have to say, I don't really understand what... I get it. You're like, okay, people can't work unless they've got this card. That's pretty savage. I understand the thought process that maybe in the future you'll have like social points on it and it will limit you to do certain activities based on how you act and how much of a good little boy you are. But really...
Yeah, and cut you out of society if you do the wrong thing or if you say the wrong thing.
But isn't it just a card as well? Isn't it a bit like, the national insurance card where it's got like a number on you got to remember and that's all it really means and you're already...
I don't know about you, but most jobs that I've had, I had to give them my national insurance number, which was proof that I am in that country. I have a right to work in that country. It's all my information, basically. Or other jobs, you'd have to maybe show your passport or some other form of ID. I don't see the benefit in having this extra thing. I don't see what it would really do.
I feel like we're not getting the whole story here.
Yeah, it seems a bit strange. It's one of those things I don't understand. I don't understand what the benefits would be because I can't really see anything. I can see a hell of a lot of negatives. And I can just imagine as well, if it was like a digital ID system and that was in place 6 years ago with all the things that were going on then with lockdowns and different things, I wonder how different it would have been if you had your digital ID linked to your medical status, etc. Whether certain people might have got banned from certain areas of society and all kinds of things could go on with it. Like you say, with like a sort of social credit kind of system, that could be even worse.
I reckon Sherry Blair's got something to do with this somewhere.
Right.
She's just got one.
So?
I reckon like her cousin works in like ID plastic manufacturing or something.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it does, from what I read in Reuters article, it does say that reporting says that digital IDs are now expected to be optional when introduced, with 2029 referenced as the target.
I mean,
I don't know.
They used to have something like this when we were younger. It was like the card you could get to prove your age. Then it wasn't like compulsory. It was called like Prove It or Prove or something. And people used to get them after the fake IDs we used to order online from like dodgy sources. They brought out this new one where, if you wanted to buy cigarettes when you were 16, you had to get one of these prove your age cards or whatever.
or just know the guy in the shop.
Yeah, or or wait outside and ask people to get them for you. And if they do get them for you, then they take 10%. That was the standard charge. I don't know if you remember this back in the day.
Not really. It's not something I ever did, but I didn't realize
You never hung around outside corner shops waiting for people.
No, not really.
You haven't lived.
And I'll go back to the UK and do it next week.
Well, now you'll have to buy them for people.
But I can get my 10%.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. It'd be a massive pay rise. The price of things in the UK, I think 10% for each pack of cigarettes would be pretty good.
That does remind me like how unreasonable we used to be. So there was a shop in Mablethorpe we used to go to called Spick and Span. And the guy in there, he used to know we'd hang around outside waiting for someone to go in and buy us cigarettes when we were underage. And then one day he decided that he was going to stop serving people and keep looking outside, like when people came in and asked for cigarettes that didn't normally go in there. So we christened him Mr. Garrison. Okay. Because he looked a bit like Mr. Garrison. And yeah, we used to go in and go, oh, Mr. Garrison, okay. It's like, where's Mr. Slave? Yeah, fun time. Anyway.
Good time.
Probably part of the reason we get digital ID. But yeah, how many more things can Keir Starmer possibly change his mind on before people decide it's maybe time for a change?
Yeah, I mean, wasn't the last one the jury thing where we're going to scrap juries, just have like a couple of people there decide on someone's face if it's longer than 2 years? I think that got U-turned on and thrown out.
I think they did it, but in a slightly dialed down way. So, because the other thing that's weird about that is in the British judicial system, unless like cases can be called either way. So an either way case means it might be too serious for magistrates. So therefore it has to go to Crown, or it could be dealt with by the magistrates, right? And I think, or at least it used to be, that the level was any crime that's less than 2 years in jail can be dealt with by the magistrates, or it was 18 months or something. And I think all they've done is increase that to 3 years.
Oh, right. Okay.
So more cases can be dealt with by the magistrates, which means they don't get sent up. And then what made me laugh is 2 weeks later, I saw a news story where they said, Britain's looking for more magistrates.
Yeah, that's strange. Who could have predicted?
Yeah, so I was going to put in an application.
Maybe you should do. Although I think being a magistrate's unpaid, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Can you do it remotely, though?
I don't know if they'll let you zoom in.
Magistrate Austin, are you on the beach? No, just my Zoom background.
Why can I hear seagulls and waves and stuff? It's just very realistic.
Don't bring me that coconut now.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't really been keeping up with UK politics like a great deal, but from what I can gather from people in the UK and family and things, no one seems particularly happy with the way things are going. So who knows, maybe Starmer will go at some stage, but at the same time, it's been in a similar way for as long as I can remember, like just a steady decline of things getting worse and worse, and people are going like, oh, right, what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like with everything, your standard of living in many ways, it's like, yeah, it's cool. Things like you can get a new phone or new TV. Those things are kind of cheaper in a way than they used to be, but the cost of a house and things, that's just astronomical for a lot. So people are frozen out of the housing market. People see all the public services going downhill, less buses, less trains, less shops open in the high street, more crime, more problems in general in almost every aspect. And then if you got a bad tooth, you can't see a dentist. If you got a bad heart, you can't see a doctor. You know, I don't know. And at the same time, if you think about it, how many prime ministers has the UK had in the last 5 or 6 years? It's been a lot.
Yeah.
Because wasn't there like three Tory ones, 3 or 4? And then Labour came in. maybe a similar thing will happen with Labour at some point.
Yeah, it was big shoes to fill after old Boris. And I mean, I thought we were moving places when Boris was in charge because it's the first time we'd had a prime minister with learning difficulties.
Yeah, we really, it really was that diversity is our strength kind of thing.
Yeah. Back to what you said about crime and TVs as well. I think, crime is going to go up when people are sat with their 50-inch TVs and their Xboxes in a tent on the high street.
Yeah, maybe.
Easier to steal, isn't it?
It's way easier to steal. I mean, that is one thing. I always remember, like, there used to be homeless people in the UK, as long as I can remember, in cities and things, but not to the extent that it is now. And I've seen, like, footage of different places where it'll be either like a city centre or not far from it, and just like a row of tents that along the side of it. And it's like, well, what happened?
Yeah. How did we go from where we were to where we are now? Yeah. Because I mean, in the past, you'd only really see that in Barnsley.
Right. Okay. Because what, buildings hadn't been invented there? Or...
Well, that's it. Yeah. And I heard they eat their kids still there. But anyway, moving on. There might just be a rumor. I've not got a source. It's just something I heard, probably at the football. Anyway, so moving on. The next story of today, brain powder, which is how I will refer to it from now on. Brain powder being creatine. So tell me a little bit about this one, Adam, because it's something that I, take on a daily basis. I do take it. I don't ingest it in any other way.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. So yeah, I just pulled this up literally just because it's not breaking news or anything like that. It was just from like the BBC's Science Focus magazine. But it's just saying that with creatine, there are just so many, there's just so much evidence that it helps so many different areas of life. And it's not just performance in the gym, but it's also brain power, cognitive ability, performance, even things like if you're having a lack of sleep, you're sleep deprived. I almost said something else. Creatine helps you alleviate some of the symptoms of being sleep deprived, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I've heard some reports where people are saying, even in like older people, if you're, say, 65 years old and you're taking creatine, then that can give you the brain health of a 60-year-old. So it's like, which is a huge leap in many ways, because when you think how rapid the decline can be when people get older, to wind the clock back 5 years, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's not small change, is it? And I've experimented quite a bit with creatine. I do take a daily dose of creatine, but have you ever heard of macro dosing it as well?
Is that where you do like 20 grams a day or something?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that sounds like a lot.
On a day where you're like extra tired or whatever, you just get like 20 grams, mix it up with a little bit of milk and bang it. Yeah, it does. It does wake you up. It makes you a little bit nauseous, a little bit on the nauseous side. But I mean, a lot of the best things in the world make you nauseous when you try them. That first half an hour, a little bit could go either way.
But does it actually? But does this actually help with the tiredness? Or are you then just like nauseous and still pretty tired, or is it like fully alert?
No, I have to say it does. It works. It makes you alert, and it's just popped back into my head because it's a long time since I've done a macro dose of creatine. I might, after today's podcast, I might go macro dose myself up with a bit of creatine and do 90 seconds in the freezing cold swimming pool, and I'll be ready to go for the afternoon.
Okay. Again, not a medical advice, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but if you try it and it works, don't forget to come back and like, subscribe, add, comment. If there's any cardiologists watching, then leave it alone. The other thing that came to my mind there is you've given me a brilliant business idea.
Mm-hmm.
So creatine, it sounds, everyone knows what creatine is, but if you package it up, put a nice label on the outside, make that with Gemini, and get a really nice looking label and call it brain powder.
Yeah,
that's a business line right there.
I mean, I guess you could charge premium prices for it.
Of
You
course,
could
it's brain
also
powder.
I mean, there's quite a lot of other things on the market that might contain slightly better things than just creatine.
Yeah, but if I say to you, right, it's $5 for this tub of creatine, or you can have this brain powder for $10. What?
And you have to
Easy choice.
macro dose it as well, so there's only like 3 servings.
I mean, you could macro dose it. Some people say that it works very well. I heard it on a renowned podcast. There was this guy telling me that he does 20 grams and it works really well for him and kept him awake. So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, why not? Well, yeah, maybe ask ChatGPT about your business idea. I'm sure it'll say that's the best idea I've ever heard because it's always supportive. And I'll look forward to brain powder hitting the shelves soon.
this is true. You know, talking about ChatGPT, I've noticed it's got even worse for that recently, where everything you say, it's like you're on the right track though, or like every single thing you mention, it's like you're getting closer to the truth. You're getting, you know, whatever else. It's like it almost makes me want to vomit.
Yeah, it's just been overly overly polite, overly encouraging, which is good. But I mean, sometimes you need a bit of encouragement, but sometimes you need, if you're going to treat AI kind of like your co-worker or your mate or something like that, sometimes you need someone to say, come on, man, that's a rubbish idea. Well, what are you thinking? That'll never work. You actually need someone to come in with a little bit of reality.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder what it is though. There must be something behind this. I wonder who's like responsible for creatine production or mining creatine. There's got to be something behind this somewhere. It's like it's suddenly become the best thing since sliced bread, and it's amazing for all this stuff and really helps with your brain.
I think it's just the health industry. Everything goes in kind of like waves. You know, there's always like different, like just the same with fad diets or supplements or whatever. You know, it's like had like Atkins diet for a little bit, then it's now it's going to be intermittent fasting. Then that loses popularity. It's like, oh well, you should try this supplement or this or drinking your own. What I don't know. There's always like one thing or another that comes along.
Yeah, this is true. Next up, it's going to be yogurt enemas again.
Yeah, another place where you can corner the market.
I swear by the brain powder and yogurt enema regime. I think call it regimen because it sounds better. There's probably a difference there somewhere. Theory, theorem. Who cares? Right.
Yeah, but it is interesting though. And one of the cool things with creatine as well, that it seems to be like actually beneficial to people's mental health. And even people that are on like SSRIs and things as well. Creatine has like increased the effect of the antidepressant. So it's like in theory, I guess people could, I don't know what the science says, but in theory, we could probably take less of the SSRI and more creatine, and that would kind of like balance it out and maybe get them off that kind of medication quicker. It's really amazing. The only one concern I have with anything, because generally in anything to do with nature, there's some kind of like trade-off. You know, if you think of like any medication you take, it's like it targets this thing, fixes it, and then sometimes causes one or two or multiple other problems elsewhere if it's like something strong. That's always just my concern with things like that. Taking vast amounts of like a certain chemical molecule every day, is that, I know it's like fairly proven, and maybe it's just me being, I don't know, overcautious, but and I do take it, but at the same time, I would probably every so often have a break from it for a couple of weeks or something like that. I don't know. And just that thing that's usually trade-offs. And I just find it hard to believe that there's this miracle thing that improves this, but there's no downside, because there usually is in some ways, even if it's just from like your liver processing all the stuff, because there's always impurities in things regardless. But I don't know.
You're right to be suspicious. I mean, there was a time sort of 50, 60 years ago where they said that smoking was good for you. So you're
Yeah,
right to be suspicious. You know, that there is a history of us being told that substances are fine, and
until they're
then
not.
suddenly they're not fine.
And then the lawsuits come flying in.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it does make a lot of sense for sure. Um, so yeah, I will continue taking creatine. I'll definitely do a macro dose after this, and I'll let the viewers know in the comments how that went, and how much more productive I was for the rest of the day. You'll get to see,
Or,
because
yeah,
there'll be our community session later, so you'll get to see what state I'm in after my creatine
probably wired and
dosage.
vomiting, but it's something to look forward to.
and nauseous at the same time. So next story is about AI. We did talk ChatGPT. So there's a story here where China is closing the gap on AI. Apparently, even with one hand tied. And I know this is related to, they were offered chips by Nvidia and they said they didn't want them. Like the US said, "Do you want these chips?" They were like, "Hell no, we don't want your chips. Keep your damn chips." And yeah,
Yeah, well,
Chinese AI
then
researchers are arguing that they can narrow the gap through risk taking and innovation.
I think probably risk taking innovation, but also on top of that, just the amount of cheap energy that they have access to. Because if say if you've got like one kind of chip and it's eczema, it's this level of good, but then there's the chips in the US that are like 5 times as good, then you can basically get the same processing power, I guess, not exactly, but more or less, by just having 10 times, 5 or 10 times as many of your rubbish chips and just having loads of them and having the energy to run them. And I think that would be quite a big thing of how they can catch up in some ways. In a technological sense, I would imagine they've had enough time to copy some of some of the best chips in the world. They just need to find the factories to make them.
Yeah, I get it. I think as well, sometimes the whole China thing and the concern about China is played out quite a lot. It's like a lot of things are made out to be further ahead or more of a threat than they really are. I wonder if part of it is because the US likes to get his dick out, slap it on people's faces on a regular basis, and they want an excuse to do that, basically. Like, if you think about this, and this is all theory, by the way, folks, so bear with me, but this is a theory I had. Is, if you imagine Venezuela, right? The US have just gone in there at nighttime, taken Maduro out without anyone being any of the wiser. Presumably, all of Venezuela's defense systems are Chinese and Russian, presumably, right? Because their relationship's good, they've got all of their oil, everything like that. So I just think to myself, I was like going through this, where you just think stuff, as you do. Some people do. Sometimes I think stuff. Occasionally, yeah, on occasion. And I was thinking, yeah, if you imagine, if you're in China and you are in charge of Venezuela's defense and security, and then you wake up in the morning to find the US have just rolled in at night, taken your president out of his house and back to the US, you're suddenly going to be thinking to yourself, shit, is our defense system, are they any good? Do they actually work? Is the US that far ahead of everybody else? And I feel like maybe this is what's just happened, is like keeps the US on top for like the next 100 years.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know a lot about Venezuelan military or who was defending them, or if they had any backing in terms of defense from anyone, or whether it was just Venezuela and their probably slightly dilapidated armies and defense. Although we do know there was training camps for different terrorist groups within Venezuela. But I don't know what kind of defense Russia or China would offer, other than, I guess, potentially tankers that were going backwards and forwards, and maybe the oil extraction points that they were involved in. I really don't know.
So I've just chat GPT'd this, because my theory was just a wild theory, so we can't really just put it out there as a wild theory. But yeah, what China has supplied to, yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? Yeah, in fact, forget the facts. Yeah, they did.
But and Friday comes from fried fish. Just remember that.
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget. So yeah, here you go. What China has supplied to Venezuela: so air defense and radar used for airspace monitoring, military communications and electronic systems, military transport and logistics, and training and technical assistance. So presumably, like their air defense and radar, I don't know. Yeah, maybe not. But there is definitely these are the things that are so defensive capability. These are the things that we're told about, right? Mm-hmm. So there's always going to be extra stuff. If we go back to like the Cuban Missile Crisis, it's like, oh no, we're just, we're not sending, we're just helping Cuba a little bit with stuff and putting loads of nukes in. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's always something being swept under the rug, isn't there, underneath? It's like,
what do you send them? Yeah. Oh, just bit of vodka, some cheese,
potato salad,
yeah,
pickles.
Anything, any weapon? Definitely no weapons in there. Absolutely no chance.
It's like a Chinese person going through customs in Australia. You got any food in that bag? No.
No.
Are you sure?
Why is your bag moving? Yeah, I mean, it always makes me wonder what goes on behind the scenes, because you have this impression that there's these two rivals, or multiple rivals going up against each other and posturing and making different speeches. But say with Venezuela, did the Chinese know it was going to happen beforehand? Did Trump call up Xi at some point and go, look, that thing you're doing with Venezuela is coming to an end. We're going in tomorrow. Or make a deal with them. Is it all right? I don't know. There could be all kinds of things happening behind the scenes that we could just never figure out, never imagine.
Yeah, this is it. It's definitely.
Are all these people really full-on mortal enemies and always trying to get the upper hand over each other? Are there more times when they kind of work together? Are there times when they like to be able to put some fear into the population about the latest thing, because that makes the population easy to control? Or it takes the heat off something else that they're doing that's really dodgy or really bad for the country?
Yeah, I often think that it's probably like WWE.
Right. Except without anyone hitting each other with chairs or anything like that.
Well, the chairs are like missiles and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But they just make sure they only kill population members instead of anyone that matters. To them, obviously, population matters to me. I'm a man of the people. But yeah, I do think sometimes it's like WWE, and they're like, okay, so let's make it so Trump and Elon are friends. Oh yeah, that'll be fun. Now let's make them break up and start hitting each other with chairs. Cool, yeah. Yeah. And then every now and again they're like, we need to have a Royal Rumble. It's been a long time, so you get World War II or World War III.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's the only worrying thing. I think that's one of the only worrying things with, because there's so much debt. Like every country, its debt to GDP ratios are becoming pretty much equal, and that's not a good thing. There's different ways to reset all of that and reset the debt back to zero. The last time it happened was World War II.
Yeah,
and that's always the worrying thing: how bad things get and how crazy do people get before we go, well, there's one way we can reset this.
Yeah. I suppose it's in the hands of whoever the global Vince McMahon is in this situation.
Pretty much. But I guess that would be Trump.
Yeah, or one of the Rothschilds.
Maybe. Which it could be.
Yeah, and if any of the Rothschilds are watching this, I'm only joking, of course. Just let me know. You know what my bank account details are. So,
and we'd love to have you on as a guest.
We would absolutely love Baron von Rothschild or whatever.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, although I think he might be dead, so that would be a really weird podcast. Hey, Mr. Rothschild. That might be too much. Yeah, yeah. Brilliant. So, speaking of global fame and influence, and obviously us keeping quiet about the Rothschilds, podcasts are now part of the Golden Globes.
Yeah, funny, isn't it? It's almost as if like the sort of mainstream media and entertainment has realized that they're gradually becoming more obsolete in a way, and that more internet-based things that are more popular with people these days.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why people would rather watch temporally scripted than University Challenge.
Exactly. But the
And
viewing figures could be like that by the end of the year.
Yeah, and the questions we asked are almost as difficult.
Yeah. And there's always at least the same, or if not more, intelligence in the room just between us two than on a whole panel of University Challenge.
Absolutely. Have you ever watched? We've definitely had more girlfriends than the average panel of University Challenge.
Maybe. Yeah.
Have you ever watched an episode of University Challenge?
Yeah, watched it a few times. Well, quite a lot of times when I was a kid.
Yeah, I used to give myself a point if I understood the question.
Yeah, because like the specialized subjects, and yeah, some of it's really, really deep.
It's like super obscure. It's like going back to the time where Galileo discovered the planets and the sun went around the earth. What was the name of his dog's girlfriend's owner? And you're like,
Yeah.
okay. And that was probably quite a simple question. So yeah, I think the Golden Globes thing, it's a shame Ricky Gervais doesn't host them anymore, because I would have been looking forward to getting roasted by him.
Such a funny guy. Oh, I listened to an interview with him yesterday. It was just so good. He's on about like free speech. And he said something along the lines of, so we have free speech. That means I have the freedom to say what I want. You have the freedom to be offended if you want to. And I have the freedom to decide whether I care or not that you're offended. It's just like, it's just really cool, really funny.
He nails it. I'm surprised he's 65 years of age, Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
He just does not seem that he's that old.
Yeah, because when he was in the interview that I listened to, he was talking about like his early life and like the years that he was mentioning, like the 70s and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, geez, yeah, he is actually that old.
It's crazy. And you know where he first... So there was oh man, I'm going to do that annoying thing that I do every week where I say, do you remember that film that I can't remember the name of?
And something happened in it.
that I can't remember the time of from back in the day. But there was a Channel 4 TV show that used to be on super late at night. And I think
Was
it had
it the 11
Daisy...
o'clock show?
Yes, thank you. You've saved me, my savior, because I was just going to ramble on about people whose names I can't remember and stuff that, yeah, might
I think
have
it was
happened in the
Ian
past.
Lee, Daisy Donovan, and Ali G had his first thing on there as well.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais was on it as well.
Yeah, he was.
That was his big break.
Yeah, which is, yeah, that's a long time ago. Takes me back, because I must have been like 16 or something when that was on TV.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was on the TV at the same time as Big Break, which was the snooker themed game show that used to be on TV
With
Things were
John
simpler in the
Virgo.
90s. Yeah, things were simpler. And then Jim Davidson.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think we're allowed to talk about him anymore.
Yeah, he's not a popular man in some circles. Don't know why.
No, I don't know what.
But I mean, a lot of people from that time aren't popular anymore. It's like at the same time you'd have like Play Your Cards Right or something like that. Or was it something, what was it, Strike It Lucky or something? And you had like Michael Barrymore do a thing. Like, yeah, you don't hear much of him since the body in his swimming pool incident.
Yeah. The putting things inside people that end up dead in your swimming pool. That's not a good look.
It's not really. But anyway,
Michael Barrymore's having like a rise back to fame.
Right.
Have you come across any of his videos?
No. Is it like pool cleaning or?
So I'm not sure if he's running out.
That's what I do. You'd have to. Come on. What do you know
Yeah.
for most?
I'm not sure if he's
Oh,
running
what?
out, but he's become super famous on like YouTube and TikTok and stuff. And he just makes videos of him like going and buying munchies from corner shops in London. He lives in a small flat with his dog, and he's basically baked all the time, super baked and like really
Right.
open about being baked. And he just goes to like the takeaway, and he's got glasses that record when he walks around, and he's just doing a sort
Right.
of vlog thing. He's super popular. Yeah, people seem to have forgotten about.
'Cause he was like a really funny guy. Like
Yeah, no,
entertainment wise, really sort of quick witted and just one of them funny people that you want to laugh at in a good way.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, and I mean, regardless of what happened, I don't think he's probably guilty of what happened, but he knows what went down. But yeah, it's crazy. I saw a video of that, and the house he lived in at the time was this crazy mansion. And now the dude just lives in a small flat in London. To be fair, that small flat in London probably costs as much as the mansion these days anyway.
Yeah, it'll be like 5 million or something crazy.
It's like a 1-bedroom ground floor flat that's like £5 million or something. But yeah, he makes videos of him going to the corner shop and buying loads of snacks and then picking up his Chinese and all of this kind of stuff. You should check it out. It's great viewing.
Yeah, we'll do. Sounds like a
Fantastic
good way to go.
Yeah, totally. Well, next up, today's story is beavers.
Well, who doesn't like a nice beaver story?
I do. Yeah, I love a good beaver. What's your favorite kind of beaver?
A beaver on a parachute. After reading this article, how about you?
I love it. Yeah, so yeah, I like big ones, small ones, all kinds of beavers. To be honest, I'm not too picky.
Nice. Okay. I hope no one clips that and takes it out of context.
That would be awful, wouldn't it?
But so, just like a story earlier on, this was from the Popular Science magazine, and it's not breaking news or anything like that. It happened in 1948, but I just thought it was an interesting story. So basically, in Idaho, they decided to rehome or relocate a load of beavers. I think it was 76 of them, because they're basically their habitat and the places they were, they'd kind of been trapped out of it. And because like the dams changed waterways and habitats. And so they thought, right, let's move them. So basically what they did is they made these kind of special crates that they could stick a beaver in. And these crates had a parachute on. And then over the area, they'd just push them out of the plane. The boxes had some kind of mechanism on, so they'd land and then open, and then the beaver runs out and goes and has a nice time.
Re-beavering an area.
Exactly.
I love that. A little bit of
Cool.
re-beavering. Yeah.
I was just disappointed when I heard that it was in boxes. I kind of had this vision of like me jumping out of a plane with little parachutes on and
getting shot at from the ground. Like.
Yeah, probably.
It's a beaver invasion. I can't decide if a beaver invasion is a good thing or a bad thing.
Which could happen because this was in America, and I remember like Bill Hicks had this bit about like aliens and things like that, and there'd been like a UFO spotted, so people went out to see it, and he's like retelling the story, and like, yeah, this guy goes, yeah, we went to see it. A lot of us were armed, and it's like, well, yeah. So are you gonna fight this like interstellar being that's like
you're gonna shoot at it? Yeah. Maybe
don't want to make friends of it. We're just gonna try and blow it away.
Yeah,
you don't think it's gonna have that attack?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible though that they're that much more advanced to create that level of tech that they just didn't see a need for weapons.
Yeah,
it could be a primitive thing that we think there's a need for weapons. So once you remove that primitive need for weapons, they're like, I never even thought of it. We were too busy solving world hunger or whatever.
Yeah, but they just didn't take into account some people from I don't know, some areas of Texas or whatever, or Alabama or something that's just going to thoroughly enjoy having weapons and blasting you out of the sky.
What's funny when you said Alabama, it reminds me of an episode of Top Gear where they drive through Alabama and they're like, as they're driving in, there's a sign that says "Welcome to Alabama," and it's just full of bullet holes.
Nice.
Like these people shoot their own sign. Just driving down the road, it's like, haha, let's shoot our sign. Like, what's that about? Anyway, moving on from American beavers and into British engineering. Obviously, we told a story a few weeks ago about the fastest shed in the world.
Built by Ed the
And what I
Shed.
like, by Ed the Shed. What I like about this is that as much as the world thinks that Britain's fallen off and is not one of the powers, one of the leading countries in the world anymore, and that we've let ourselves down, I think we've just evolved and we're focusing now on what matters, because not only do we have the world's fastest shed, we now have the world's fastest wheelie bin,
which is astounding, really.
And it wasn't even Ed the Shed that came up with it. It was a guy called Michael Wallhead. I was trying to think of a play on words.
Well, it might be fitting when you're in a wheelie bin going 55 miles an hour, the chances of the wall colliding with your head is maybe quite high, and
I like that.
You might go to hospital for reasons that sounds similar to his name.
Yeah. Maybe he was a bin man, but he's from York, and he took the world's fastest wheelie bin to 55 miles per hour. For those of us watching from Europe, that's 88.344 kilometers per hour.
And he claims that since then, privately, he's got it up to 66 miles an hour.
But no one can validate that.
Unverified, but I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, you never know. And what's even better about this story, I find, is that it wasn't a new world record. He's beaten someone else's world record. So
of course he's
not he's not the first man to make the world's fastest wheelie bin, because there'll be a very sad gentleman waking up early in 2026 who goes by the name of Andy Jennings, who set the previous world record of 45 miles per hour in a wheelie bin in 2001.
Which is still, it's a decent speed on its own, really.
Yeah. Wow.
And, I think it'd be quite terrifying as well, in a way, going at like 50 miles an hour in a wheelie bin.
It's quite fast, isn't it? Yeah, it is quite fast. If you think about riding a motorbike at that speed, you know about it. It's whipping.
Yeah.
And the wind would be blowing through my hair at that.
A long time ago.
No, in my eyebrows.
Right.
In my eyebrows. I mean, eyebrow hair never seems to stop growing.
I've noticed.
Are they pubes? I suppose they are pubes.
Well,
no, they're not pubes, are they? Because you have them from. Yeah. Can you imagine the world where eyebrows are pubes and you don't get them until you're 13?
That would actually be really funny.
Funny, all
yeah, but as you get older, I don't know if you've got them yet, but you get like the occasional extra ones that are like extra long.
Yeah, and I have tweezers now as a result. Occasionally, after I notice it's like in my eye line, and I've got like There you go. I mean, you could get. I wonder if there's such a thing as an eyebrow comb. You can just sort of.
I would imagine there is. If not, you could probably adapt another kind of comb that would be quite similar, I would imagine.
I was just going to add it to my product line of brain powder. And
brain powder eyebrow combs.
And you can't get enemies.
It's a very diverse, interesting online store.
Yeah, I think
you could buy all three as a package.
Yeah, like a New Year to you package.
Yeah, you just need to make some AI videos of like someone who looks like a doctor talking about the health benefits, and I think you're away.
We're not suggesting that you do that, ladies and gentlemen. That's just us joking around. Definitely, you shouldn't make fake IO videos of doctors saying things.
That's probably true. Definitely
But
don't
yes,
do that.
don't do that. Don't do that. But if you do it, give us a comment. Let us know how it went.
And a cut if you make any profits. No, again, that's not real.
And subscribe, of course. But yeah, I think it was Kellogg of Kellogg's that came up with the yogurt enema.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like a fruity individual, not a child. He wasn't a child. What am I talking about? Yeah, Kellogg had loads of like weird things that he used to say were good for health, and they were kind of culty. I'm sure that's where I got the yogurt enema.
Did they involve his products?
Yeah. Yeah, so it said he advocated the frequent use of an enema machine to cleanse the bowel with several gallons of water. Yeah, but that's wait, no, that's that we've got crossed over here. He was into enemas. I don't know how we've gone down this route. I'm sorry.
It's quite a long way from the world's fastest wheelie bin.
So apparently, yeah, Kellogg. It's not the Kellogg; it's his brother. But he was contemptuous of his brother and tried to thwart his success by promoting yogurt enemas. And apparently, he made cornflakes to try and curb masturbation. But this is just on Reddit, so I don't know if it's true.
I don't know.
He made and prescribed granola as a treatment for his patients. He sounds like a genius.
Was it partly that like I don't know, you had like his brother, I guess, who was a Kellogg guy with the cornflakes, and did you think, okay, well, I've got people buying products to put in one end, can I not get them to buy products to put in the other end as well? I don't know.
This is insane. I'm sorry, I have to read this story for the viewers and for you before we move into our weekly top 5. But so basically, this guy prescribed granola as a treatment for his patients, and because food quality was horrible at the time, most meat was green at the time. But everyone had stomach problems, right? So Kellogg developed granola as an easily digested food. And then his brother Will saw the patients struggling to eat the granola and decided that adding milk would soften it, which made it an instant hit. So Will wanted to make a market of granola with milk in it and sell it to the masses. But John was like, no. I don't want to sully my reputation by becoming a basic businessman. I'm just obsessed with my tiny empire at the sanitarium. So, yeah. So it came from two brothers that ran a sanitarium trying to feed granola to their patients. Wow.
Interesting.
Amazing. And then apparently a mysterious fire broke out and destroyed the sanitarium. So then they started their Kellogg company.
And from there was born the staple of many people's breakfasts.
The rest is history. And he said cheerio to the sanitarium.
I would have thought like, oh, that's a good one. I would have thought granola was probably healthier than the subsequent cornflakes.
Yeah.
Because it is just like mashed up corn, basically, isn't it? With some additives.
I mean, to be fair,
a bit more real
substancy.
Food.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the clue is in the name, right? The box, corn flakes. It's not like they're not trying to. There's no conspiracy here. Yeah, they're not trying to pull the wool over your eyes.
Yeah, maybe not.
Anyway, back to our weekly segment. This week's top 5 from Temporally Scripted. A little bit interesting. So, I mean, they're always interesting, but this one's got an interesting title. Adam, take it away.
Oh, just a little bit interesting. Maybe it's less interesting than the previous ones. I don't know. But yeah, so this week it's top 5 Florida man headlines. Because I guess we've probably all seen, and there's been different memes about it in the past where there's always some ridiculous story about a Florida man. And the headline is always Florida man, blah, blah, blah. or you can do a thing where you Google your birthday and then Florida man, and it'll usually come up with some hilarious news story.
Nice.
So here's 5 of them. Number 1, the headline was Florida man arrested for throwing live alligator into Wendy's drive-through window. This happened in 2015 in Jupiter, Florida. He pulled up to the drive-through, got served, and then tossed a live alligator through the window into the restaurant. Authorities described it as a prank. But yeah, the alligator was recovered and released. And I don't know if he was actually charged with anything, but he was told by the courts, please don't go into your Wendy's anymore, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a misunderstanding here.
What, like he threw it by accident?
Yeah, or maybe he just wanted them to cook it. He's on a diet where he can't have beef or chicken, and he likes Wendy's. So he just said to the, do you mind cooking my alligator for me? And the message never got sent from the first window to the second window. So when he, the first window is like, just take it down to the first window and put it in because it's nearer the kitchen. Then when he chucked it in, they're all like, well, I wasn't expecting that. I think it's just a breakdown in communication.
I guess so. It must have been quite a small alligator as well, I would have thought, because...
That's it. If someone chucks an alligator at you and it's not even big, who cares?
I mean, maybe they did overreact, and it is just a prank, really.
Massive overreaction. Yeah.
Number 2, Florida man riding human-sized hamster wheel in Atlantic Ocean faces federal charges. So this man attempted an ocean journey in a homemade human-powered floating device, widely described as a giant hamster wheel. He called it a hydropod.
That sounds cooler.
It does. Yeah. I want to buy one. Right.
Yeah. Get some brain powder down me and go out in my eyebrow.
Comb in your eyebrows along the way and doing whatever else. So yeah, the Coast Guard found him offshore somewhere and said voyage was unsafe. And so he got told to please stop doing this. I don't know if they actually got any federal charges. I couldn't find that out, but it was just a funny story. Just DIY engineering and a lot of confidence, I guess.
I like that he was spotted 70 miles off the coast. I mean, that's quite simple going, isn't it? It's not just a little bit out. 1, that tells you how good the Coast Guard is in America. 2, the hydropod clearly works. Right, what's next?
Number 3, Florida man arrested after bizarre forklift and ATM joyride through the streets. So the police, this was this was 2025, not that long ago. So the police say that this guy stole a forklift and then used it to take an ATM machine. And then he just started driving through town like he was doing a mission in a video game. And then it's like every detail makes more questions. So 1, how did he get the forklift? How did no one stop him immediately? And why does ATM joyride sound like an attraction at a theme park for bad decisions? Anyway, reportedly it ended with an arrest. But yeah, we don't really know what will happen next. But you kind of picture this guy being quite happy driving around in this forklift with an ATM with probably what must have been like at least tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I reckon he got $100,000 from Rockstar Games, and they're going to use it to help them promote the new Grand Theft Auto, which comes out this year, which is based in Miami. So maybe that's it.
Right, so it actually could be. But it is pretty funny. What did we have next? Okay. This one wasn't quite a Florida man story, but it was when a Florida man calls 911 to brag about fleeing deputy. So yeah, basically some guy was getting chased by the cops and he got away from the cops. So he called 911, not to report an emergency, but to brag that he'd gotten away and to complain about about the police response.
That's
Just
fantastic.
kind of saying, like, I'd like to speak to a manager. You
That
guys
is
are absolutely
brilliant.
rubbish.
That's amazing. That's worth it. That's worth the arrest. Fair play to him.
It kind of is, really.
Totally. Yeah, I do the same. Right, what's last?
And the last one, Florida man tries to steal 26 cars from jail parking lot just after being released. So, which it's slightly misleading, but basically this guy was released from jail and then almost immediately was spotted checking car doors in the jail parking lot, reportedly trying multiple vehicles because he needed a ride home, according to him. But yeah, I mean, that's blatantly what he was trying to do. So the staff saw that he was doing this and took him straight back into custody.
That's fantastic. I love that. What a story, and what a top 5 this week. Florida man did is a great one, and perhaps that there's one in there where we could do like Liverpool man. No, let's not
Bulwell
go there.
man.
We'll get a Bulwell man. Bubble. Oh, Bubble. For those of you that don't know, Bulwell is a small town on the edge of Nottingham in the UK. Well, Adam, brings us to the end.
It does.
The end of our 40th episode of Temporally Scripted.
Yeah, that went pretty quick. It's actually my 44th birthday tomorrow as well, so it almost ties in.
Wow.
Some would say I'm aging like a fine wine. Some would say I'm aging like milk. But either way,
someone told me that you were aging like David Beckham. They kept saying it repeatedly.
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't put you a day above 42. Adam.
Right. Oh well, thanks. That's a big compliment.
There you go. Well, viewers, if you got this far, thank you very much. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share it with your nan. Sit down and watch it on a Saturday night instead of going out and having fun. And until next time, I've been Jack Austin.
I've been Adam Garcia.